Hey guys, SuperHorrorBro Mike here, and in today's video, we kick off a series of Showdown Bandit theories with an overview of Episode 1, Trail of Shadows. I titled this video Showdown Bandit Explained, however, as we currently only have one episode and a sparing amount of information contained within, do bear in mind that this is simply my interpretation of events as things currently stand. As we get more of the story and character information in the coming months, with the advent of new episodes, we will be able to expand and correct elements of this original theory. With that said, this episode does provide more hints about what exactly is happening in Showdown Valley than you may imagine. We just have to dig deep and look in the right places. So let's go moment to moment through this episode, analysing our findings along the way in order to explain what exactly the story of Showdown Bandit is all about. Our adventure begins with a character known as Miss Undertaker freeing the bandit from his box. As she does so, Miss Undertaker makes the following comments.
Oh my, it's you. Well, that is something. Let's get you out of that box and out into the light. Oh my dear. Sure as my name's Lorelei Undertaker. I didn't drag you back up here on purpose. But if you're here, then it must be what he wants. Either way, I suppose we best get going. The show must go on.
The lines spoken by Lorelei here may seem vague and ambiguous. They are, but while keeping us in the dark about specifics, this dialogue drops many hints to pick up on. For example, the line, "I didn't drag you back here on purpose," suggests that the bandit has returned from the dead. Miss Undertaker's job is, well, that of an undertaker. She buries the dead. However, as we discover later in the chapter from this note written by Farmer Mill, many of these dead have been wandering around and causing all kinds of mischief. Some of the townsfolk even took to stringing them up, much to Miss Undertaker's frustration. The point is that in this land, the dead don't always stay dead, and while the bandit's resurrection is obviously very different from that of the soulless undead, it is still something Miss Undertaker seems to be responsible for. After all, she does admit it was her who dragged the bandit back up here, presumably from his grave. But this isn't the first time a bandit has wandered this stage. In the opening area we see there are a number of boxes labelled bandit, meaning many bandit puppets had been produced during the TV show's original production. Also, near the beginning of the episode, we encounter a seemingly lifeless bandit strung up, and it is from him we gain our trusty sidearm, the cork shot. Further evidence of multiple bandits existing in this world comes from dialogue spoken by Miss Undertaker near the shooting range. She confirms we are not the first bandit she has unboxed.
But I've never unboxed a bandit who ain't quick as can be with that cork gun.
And even Doc Carver remarks,
"Another day, another bandit."
Which certainly makes it sound like he has repaired a fair few bandits in his time. But our bandit is different from the others, and we know there is something a little special about him based on Miss Undertaker's initial reaction.
Oh my dear. Sure as my name's Lorelei Undertaker. I didn't drag you back up here on purpose.
She sounds surprised, but also seems to recognize this bandit as more than just a simple puppet, almost as if she identifies the soul within. Not to say these puppets have human souls trapped inside or anything like that, I'm still not sure that's the direction this story is taking. However, there is something about this bandit that makes him far more important in the eyes of Miss Undertaker than the rest. Before we move on from this opening segment, let us discuss Miss Undertaker's role in all of this, something also hinted at when analysing her dialogue. Lorelei comments that the bandit's revival must be what he wants, referencing a figure of great importance, a higher power who seems to be pulling her strings, no pun intended, to carry out his bidding. From this dialogue, it seems Miss Undertaker has the power to breathe life into these puppets, however, she is never quite sure of who she is bringing back, rather simply using her abilities to complete a task set by the person or thing controlling her, the puppet master so to speak. So while Miss Undertaker has an important role and great power, she is in essence powerless at the same time. And after this analysis, you are probably jumping straight to that ending. Don't worry, we'll get to that very soon. First, I'd like to discuss the rules of this world. It seems as though the citizens of Showdown Valley live in constant fear of breaking the following mysterious rules. Play your part, guard your strings, don't look up. We can make some basic assumptions as to what these rules mean in relation to the world of Showdown Bandit. Play your part suggests each character has a role to play in a scheme perhaps being dictated by the puppet master themselves. This was, after all, once a popular kids' TV show, and it almost seems like we are taking part in a lost episode of that show. One not endorsed by the original studio KBCU, but instead being created independently by a sinister third party. A figure who wishes each of the puppets to play their part exactly as intended in order to achieve a final objective, one we are currently unaware of. Guard your strings is a simple one. It seems without strings these puppets lose their humanity and instead become the stringless. We are warned of these stringless beings. It seems as though they are feral in nature. Characters without strings are hostile, attacking without provocation. Of course, there are enemies who still do have strings, but you may have noticed they can't be beaten. Instead, after being shot, they simply retreat into the rafters of the stage. Enemies without strings have no lifeline and so are highly vulnerable. They also seem to have fallen into madness. We see this with the Penny Hemsworth character. She has lost her strings and seems to be quickly transforming from the pleasant store owner she once was into a twisted lost soul who has removed her own eyes in a fit of madness. The longer she goes without her strings, the more humanity she will lose. Maybe we will get to save Penny and give her back her strings and eyes before she becomes too far gone. At the moment, this is my current take on what these strings represent. Don't look up. This rule seems to be a little strange. Why would a puppet be asked not to look up? The most obvious reasoning behind this would be because of the person controlling them. Looking up breaks the illusion of these puppets controlling themselves and behaving as living characters on set, something which would take viewers out of the show they were watching. Kind of like when a character breaks the fourth wall in a movie if they reference the fact they are in one to the audience. This could be why this rule exists. However, it seems more likely the real reason these puppets are warned not to look up is because by doing so, they would gaze upon their creator, the person in control of this world. The very person we catch a glimpse of at the episode's end. To these puppets, this person would be the puppet master we spoke of before, and a godlike figure in their world. Certain religions believe it is a sin to gaze upon the face of God, the face of their creator. If that logic is applied here, then these puppets would believe they would befall a terrible fate if they dare look upon their creator above. Although we do hear the banker ask the following question.
Ever wonder what our strings attached to up there?
So this also begs us to wonder, do these puppets actually know who their creator is, or even grasp the concept of their world being a fictional TV show? Does the term show mean something very different to the characters of Showdown Valley than it does to the audience watching? Again, questions to ponder as more information becomes available. For now, let us move on to a look at the ending of the episode and what this may mean for the continued story of Showdown Bandit. The episode ends as the bandit enters a forbidden area outside of the Showdown Valley set, stepping out in front of an audience of creepy masked figures before a human hand reaches down to grab him. Let's take a look at the audience first. They are far larger in size than the puppets that inhabit this world. However, they don't look big enough to be people either, at least not adults. We have seen one of these masked characters before. They can be spotted in the game's release date trailer, staring into the static of a television screen after a commercial for the Showdown Bandit Show plays out. So it is likely these figures are children, and are not just any children, but rather fans of the Showdown Bandit Show itself. In the game's Steam store description, we are given the following information. Beware, for years kids tuned in to watch the televised puppet world of Showdown Bandit, whose colourful cast performed in front of a live audience of ecstatic children. Then, without warning, the show was unceremoniously cancelled and the studio, props and puppets were left to rot. This tells us a once highly popular show was suddenly cancelled, and this raises a big red flag. What's more, these children in the audience seem anything but ecstatic, and furthermore, all wear capes and masks. We can even spot them marching solemnly into the theatre near the beginning of the stage. Could it be this show was more than it seemed, broadcasting a subliminal message to young, impressionable minds and brainwashing them into becoming robotic disciples of the puppet master, the person pulling the strings here? It seems likely this is the case. Looking at a message from the banker, we see he notes the audience cheered, laughed, and then cried, almost as if the viewers were drawn in by the show only to meet a sinister fate by its end. Furthermore, just listen to the haunting chant of the child audience through the static of the TV screen during this sequence of the game. We hear Penny Hemsworth chanting the bandit's theme in a hypnotic state too.
Showdown Bandit, who stands up for good today? Showdown Bandit, yay.
It's almost as if the show took hold of its viewers' minds, and when the studio discovered the nefarious goings-on at the hands of its creators, they ended it immediately, burying the dangerous reality of what their station, KBCU, had been broadcasting. Now it seems as though somebody is looking to resurrect the show, its characters, and re-involve its brainwashed audience while doing so. Hey, maybe this is a game about trapping human souls within puppets after all. There are many possibilities for who this puppet master could be. It could be one of the show's two creators, Buddy Bublick or Carl Handler. It could be Boo Boo the Clown. It could be someone we haven't heard about yet at all. All we know is that they appear to be human. But this is where I want to leave the theory for today. We have a good foundation to build upon now, and in future videos I will go into more detail, looking at specific characters, their motivations, and why certain events may be transpiring. After all, the story of Showdown Bandit has only just begun. And that's it for today's video. Please remember to give it a like if you did enjoy watching, and maybe drop a comment too, as well as subscribing to the channel and turning on notifications so you never miss an upload. This channel specializes in variety horror content, including creepypasta readings, horror gaming facts and theories, and general interest pop culture horror videos. So if you're interested in all things spooky, you'll find something to enjoy here at SuperHorrorBro. Thanks for watching, and I will see you on the next video.